Okay, Andy, we are streaming live. Good morning to everyone out there and welcome to TCA.
Good morning. No hot mic moment this morning, Christian.
Oh, come on. Those are fun, Andy. It's all good. It's a beautiful day here in Mooresville, North Carolina. My name's Christian Smedberg. I'm joined by Andy Turner, and we are coming to you live from Weinig Holz-Her, USA. If this is your first time joining us, we are live on Facebook and YouTube. You are watching us on one of those platforms, and you can join in on the conversation by dropping your comments or your questions in on the feed. We are both here monitoring both platforms, YouTube and Facebook. Make sure you subscribe to us or follow us if you're on Facebook. Subscribe if you're on YouTube, right? So, and again, this is live, so if you have a question for us while we're on the air, so to speak, drop it in the comments. Just say good morning. Let us know where you're from and that you're watching, and we'll give you a shout out. So, again, this is live.
Yeah, I'm having a bit of a struggle getting stuff going over here, but so maybe Christian can relay whatever questions you might have.
Absolutely, Andy. No worries, no worries. So, first off, hey, real quick, everybody, we've changed up our angle a little bit this morning, so we look a little bit different, but we're still coming to you from one of our showrooms here at our Mooresville facility. Andy, we're in showroom B.
And we wish you could see the mean lights on the 1308. We got some nice nice red glow back there, but it's one of the status lights. Maybe you can see it some, but yeah.
So yeah, we got the 1308 is behind us. I don't think we're moving any machines this morning.
It's a little quieter.
So it's a little bit quiet.
Yeah, and it's also Groundhog Day. Happy Groundhog Day, Christian.
Well, there you go. Well, thank you, Andy. Yeah, I appreciate that. Oh, nice.
Apparently, Phil saw his shadow this morning, so we have 6 weeks left of winter. So that's not great news, but
it is what it is. It's not bad for a Groundhog Day.
I was kind of surprised that, and I heard people talking about it as I was walking through the office. It's a little surprising that he saw his shadow, since in Pennsylvania it's snowing like crazy right now. I mean, you would think that it would be cloudy enough that he wouldn't have seen a shadow, but apparently he did.
So there you go. So a couple of people watching already. First of all, shout out to to my man Chris Sauer up at the nation's capital. Yes, the tie is back today. Now and then I need to step up my game. Here in the office, our #1 German fan is watching us this morning, Andy. Andreas, good.
Andreas,
good to see you. And looks like we have a new viewer from Amman, Jordan. So awesome. TCA reaching all over the world this morning. That's rocking. That's great. So that's great. We're going to get into it in just a second. We're going to give people a little bit of time to join on. It looks like
today we're gonna do something a little different, right?
We are. Yeah, we got a cool TCA. For you guys, we'll give everybody just a minute to hop on the live stream.
Well, while we're waiting on that, I did some research.
Oh yeah.
There are some things that are going on.
Now and then you do some research.
Now and then I do some research. I look at what's going on in our industry, and one of the things that jumped out at me, and it actually I try really hard not to give old information. I try to only search stuff that's happened over the last week when we bring it to you on TCA. But I found one thing kind of interesting from. It was from late December, so it's not incredibly old, but they were discussing the predictions for the housing market in 2021, late December, and Realtor.com referred to the rise of the millennials.
Right.
That's the term that they're using, is the rise of millennials, where millennials now are they said they're not only dominating the entry-level space for housing. You know, we said last year that one of the biggest booms was that millennials were buying houses, and they thought that there was a time when we thought millennials would never own anything, but now they were buying houses. But they were buying entry-level houses, and that's why the market was so strong in that $250,000 to $300,000 market, because that's what across the country that's kind of the space where they were buying. Now they are upgrading. They're the largest market already for upgrading, where millennials are starting to have children. They want more space. They already were buying homes. Now they're ready to upgrade, and they're driving that market. They're saying that's a big factor in 2021, is that millennials are going to be upgrading.
Millennials need more space.
They need more space.
Never thought you'd hear that.
Never thought you'd hear that. They weren't even going to own cars.
There you go. Yeah, I know. Right? Yeah. Yeah, yeah. No, speaking of cars, the recent, not that this has all that much to do with our industry, or maybe it does. Correct me if I'm wrong, but the rise of interest in electric vehicles has been, you know, huge over just the last few months, and I think that's going to be a top story for 2021.
Yeah, that's not bad news. So where are you on all of the green stuff? You know, I'm one of those people that you know, I am all for it as long as it doesn't inconvenience me.
Well, we want to hear from you. Let us know. Put it in the comments. Where are you on our green revolution that we're having here in the U.S. And also, how does that relate to your business? I think that's the key, right?
Yeah.
Is you know, in an industry where we're working with a green raw material that is sustainable, that is renewable. How do you do you market that to your end customers? And
Sure.
also, does it affect you? Did it affect you? Is that the reason why you're in the industry, or is it just an added benefit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I
let
guess
us
there
know.
are different ways to look at green. I was thinking of electric vehicles, actually, when I was saying as long as it doesn't inconvenience me. Still haven't gotten around my mind around having to stop for a 30-minute charge on a long trip to refuel the battery, where it doesn't take 30 minutes to fill up with fuel.
So, well, you know, who knows where technology is going, or what kind of advances they'll make in, in charging stations, in actual batteries. I think it's
Yeah,
just
the
gonna
range, the time in which they could, what a fast charge will look like.
Well, and also the actual charging stations themselves.
Mm-hmm.
What will they look like? Will we have to plug in? In fact, I remember even taking it down a few notches from electric vehicles. You know, I remember when wireless charging was this dream that many of us had, and now I charge my phone wirelessly every day.
Mm-hmm.
So it's so who knows where that's going. Okay, enough of electric vehicles. Let's get down into our industry. If you guys are joining us, welcome. Every week we talk about things like the building industry and how it relates to our industry specifically, which is the woodworking industry. And so this week we're going to do things a little bit differently, and we want to actually show you guys a few things that we've been working on here at Weinig Holz-Her USA.
As we try to develop our content, we're trying to develop content that makes sense, that is valuable, that's going to help our industry. With some of your questions, you know, we had a question and answer session a couple of weeks ago here on the TCA, and we're going in that direction with our trying to answer questions. With our video content.
Mm-hmm. That's right. So what we've done recently is that we've started shooting short how-to videos specifically focused for machine operators of machines, obviously Weinig and Holz-Her machines. But these are for very common procedures.
What we're doing is we're getting some feedback, right?
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
A lot of our technicians, they get asked the same questions over and over and over again.
That's
so
right.
If they're getting asked a lot, then that must be obviously it's a common thought.
It's a common question,
right? in the industry, and we're trying to help with that. You know.
Yeah, it's kind of like our FAQ for machine operation.
Yeah, exactly.
Via video. So we've come out with this new series called Answers from the Tool Room. And like Andy just said, it's kind of our answer to some of these commonly asked questions for machine operation. What we wanted to do this morning was we wanted to play a couple of these short videos for you and hopefully get your feedback on them. Because right now, I think we've released to date, I think something like 8 or 9 videos. That are,
and the plan is we're releasing one per week.
Yeah, one per week. That's exactly right. So on Thursday we have our newest one coming out, and we released one last Thursday. And so again, we want your feedback. These are across the board. They range from questions from molders to edge banders to crosscut saws to rip saws to CNC machines. So,
but it's drilling down beyond that, right? So we've done all of the videos. You saw a lot of the videos that we did. I think we created 150 videos in 2020 when we had a necessity, a need to get some information out. And we were, for example, we would have had a video on a certain model of edge bander, and we went all the way through that edge bander, and it could have been a a 15, 20, sometimes 30-minute long video. Some of the ones that Sean Pogue was doing were even an hour-long video.
Right. Yep.
And so this is a little different because we know that you got to commit to watching a 30-minute video. And so we want to, if you have a specific question about just a specific task on a specific machine, we're trying to drill it down to that. So these are only 3-minute videos.
That's right. That's right. And Andy's right. You got to commit to 30 minutes. I mean, even on YouTube, you need to be serious.
Now, my children wouldn't. They don't have any trouble committing to watching YouTube. But some of us that have other things to do.
When you grow up, you get less time. I don't know how that happens, but it does. All right. So listen. Okay. So we're going to show you one of these videos right now. We're going to actually going to put it on the stream. If I can operate this right.
I wish I could see the feed.
We'll put it out there, and when it's done, we'll come back and talk about it. All right.
Hi folks, today we're going to talk about making straight knives on the Weinig Round to Mat 960 grinder. The importance for the straight knives are to be absolutely perfectly straight, so that when we mate up with the machine table plates and pressure shoes and or fences, we need to know that we're making an absolutely perfectly plane cut. Otherwise, we have deviations in the board and the board becomes non-usable. Going to get into the nitty-gritty of how to make not just a straight knife, because anybody can do that, but we're going to make a perfect straight knife. In the past, we used to use a surface ground metal template for our straight knives, as you can see here. We would simply place that into the template carriage and lock down the handles to hold it in place. What we had run into is most folks don't do a full long 9, 10, 12 inch straight knife. They generally running shorter straight knives a lot more often. So they would tend to use up a portion or half of that template. Then they'd end up just saying, okay, we'll flip it over and we use the other side. Well, what they'd end up doing is creating a point in the middle of the template, which causes them to have to go back out and get the template resurfaced to be parallel again. So there's maintenance having to be done to the template. What we do now is on all of our grinders, we have what's called a straight knife clamping unit. So anytime the grinder can make a full circle, when we're ready to start doing the grinding on a straight knife, we simply get it up into position near the grinding wheel. We turn the handle a half a rotation or quarter of a turn, lock it in, and then we're going to just simply ride on the tool rest as we traverse. So we've locked the carriage in, we cannot move this way, only a lateral motion. So we like to come down and stand on the end while we are on the tool rest and simply push the carriage back and forth as we're grinding that knife. Some of the problems early on that we come across was too many guys or gals stand in front of the grinder, and we have a tendency to push because that's what we've known to do for decades. So if we're using the straight knife clamp and we're standing in front, we generally have a tendency to push, and we can push that knife to being ground out of parallel. So it's best just to simply stand on the end, keep the tool rolled over, and use the bearings themselves, because they're going to last a lot longer than what the template is ever going to. So we're utilizing the bearings on the machine to keep producing those perfect straight knives. Hope you liked what you saw today, and we'd like you to stay up to date with any other videos that we have online, so please subscribe.
You said we'll do what?
Oh, sorry. All right, we were still muted from before, and now we're back. Sorry, everybody. So, as you guys can see,
Another audio issue.
Another audio issue from the live stream.
Thank you to Michael Muskett for running out here and telling us.
Always fun. But we are back, and so as you guys can see, that was a little snippet of the answers from the tool room. Yeah, Mr. Sean Pogue was gracious enough to share his expertise, I guess you could say, with us about grinding.
That's a good thing to point out. These are experts that are helping us with these videos, and we are incredibly fortunate to have them here to work with.
That's right, absolutely. Also, you know, for all of you panel processing guys watching this morning, you know, you probably had no connection with grinding knives.
Yeah.
But we have another one that we want to show everybody. This is another expert of ours.
Yep.
Talking about edge banders. Yeah. So let me cue that up, Andy, and we'll take a look at that.
Hi, today I want to talk about lining up the scraper station. It's important to have a nice thin scraping so the knife doesn't wear out too prematurely, and also that the streamer is very lightweight and goes up the dust hood without clogging. Scraping over here, we're going to adjust the horizontal copy wheels in and out until we get the profile that we would like. We want the profile to be the same top and the bottom. In this case, we have a radius, so I have an equal radius, top and the bottom. After that is achieved, we want to look at the size of my scrapings. If my scraping is too thick or too thin, we actually want to adjust that at the trimmers. So, this is where we're going to leave more or leave less for the scrapers to work with. They've already set the profile that we like to have. Now we're going to adjust here. Again, we're going to adjust on the horizontal tracers. So if my scraping was too thick, I'll reduce it here. And then we'll run another panel. Ideally, we want a nice thin scraping, about 0.05 to 0.1 millimeters thick. Nice and light, that won't clog the dust hood. Go right up and give you a perfectly scraped panel. Too thick of a scrape will clog the dust collection. Also will prematurely wear out the knife. Ideally, we want a nice clean scraped panel, nice thin scraping, equal profile top and bottom for a beautiful edge.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you found that video to be helpful, make sure you subscribe to our channel. We put out new content about Weinig and Holz-Her machinery all the time to help shops just like yours. All right, so ignore that little last part.
Okay.
Where I had to, I asked for the subscribe there. Well, I really wasn't operating that beam saw, I promise.
It wasn't a beam. Oh, you were standing from the beam saw. Okay.
But okay, so that was another example of answers from the tool room segment that our very own Holz-Her expert.
So Kevin. We should tell everybody how they can find these things.
Yeah. Okay. So how do you keep up to date with answers from the tool room?
Mm-hmm.
Go on to our YouTube channel. Go on to YouTube and search for Weinig Holz-Her USA. Yeah. All right. This is important because if you just search for like Weinig or just Holz-Her, you know, there's so many Weinig subsidiaries all throughout the world. Make sure you go to Weinig Holz-Her USA. And subscribe. So once you're there, just hit subscribe, and you'll be notified when we come out with new content, including.
Also, when you're there, there'll be the playlists, right?
Yeah,
There's
absolutely.
The
so the playlists are on right on our channel's homepage. You'll be able to just browse through those videos. Now, also our TCA videos are on YouTube.
You have a TCA playlist.
We do. We also have some playlists dedicated to types of machinery. And to machine features.
Yep.
A lot of interest recently on the Cube Plus walkthrough, right? So we have our very own Weinig experts walking through the Cube Plus, and that's on YouTube as well. Actually, a lot of recent views on that video. So,
but as Christian said, there are already 8 or 9 videos on the playlist for the answers from the tool room.
That's right,
and that's going to grow. So every week, every Thursday, a new one gets added. And but we want your feedback. You know, we're gonna run out of things if we just try to answer our own questions, right?
That's right. So if you're
watching,
watching,
that's not what we want.
Yep.
We want to answer your questions.
So if you're watching right now, if you're watching on Facebook, watching on YouTube, what do you want us to cover in new answers from the tool room videos? All right. So put it in the chat. Put it in the comments. We want to know what you guys are curious about. All right. So put it in the comments of Facebook or YouTube, wherever you are.
No sound. Are we?
No, we're good. That was from
earlier. Okay.
So put it in the comments, and we will make more videos, because like Andy said, we're doing one a week.
One a week, yeah. And we want to, and we're trying to stay ahead. So we'd like to be a few weeks ahead so we can release those things on time. And it is all about just answering your questions.
That's right. That's exactly right. Okay. So that's the answers from the tool room. We have one more special and very important announcement to make this week, which is TCA is going on the road again.
Again, yep. So this will be the 3rd on-site we've done for TCA.
Yeah, TCA is, we're packing it up and we're taking it out to the West Coast, which we did earlier, or last year. We did it last year.
We were in Southern California. Now we're going to head. Well, it's considered Northern California, but we're going to be a little south of the bay there.
In North Carolina, we really don't know all of California's terminology.
We talk about east and west here.
Yeah, we really, but we're going to California. We will be visiting Elements Manufacturing, and that's a panel processing shop in the San Jose area. And we are just extremely excited and very privileged to be partnered up with them. They are big Holz-Her users, and so we're going to be doing a live shop tour and TCA on location. So that's coming in 3 weeks from
February
today.
23rd.
Yep, that's right. 3 weeks from today. A big shout out to everybody from Elements Manufacturing. We're going to be talking a little bit more about it next week to get everybody ready. But a big shout out to everybody over there. We're excited to come see you. We thank you for your continued support and trust in the Holz-Her product line. You know, we talk about it all the time, is bringing manufacturers up to the next level, right? And this is a great example of one.
Well, I mean, the last 2 tours that we've done have been excellent, and probably the most viewed videos that we've had. So you guys obviously. You guys are interested in seeing what some of the other companies in our industry are doing. So we want to bring the top level companies. We want to bring that to you to show you what they're doing.
That's exactly right, and to have discussions with them, because so many times they have insights that you can learn from, that you may not have thought of, etc. You know, I go back to, and we were just talking. We were talking about when that last video was playing. You know, there's so many little things that we just don't think of. For example,
like the thickness of the scrapings, like the
thickness of the scrapings coming off the edge bander, or when we're taking tours through facilities, thinking, okay, well, this is how I should line up my chop saws to cut down on my spaghetti trail through the shop. You know, and it's these topics, it's these actual tidbits that are so important, and that's why we do this. That's why we do this. We make content. Again, it's real. It comes to you. It's not overly produced, as exhibited earlier in the stream.
Listen, we want to grow manufacturing. Number one, manufacturing in the U.S., which is projected, by the way. I did read another article that manufacturing is expected to be to see strong growth through 2027.
Right.
So we're in a good place. But we want to promote not only manufacturing but woodworking manufacturing. And how do we do that? We can bring more information to you guys that are doing it, make you more efficient. And we can also put a little bit of a spotlight on some of these companies in our industry, and maybe that helps to attract more young people coming out of college or coming out of grade school to want to join our industry.
That's exactly right. Oh, and we hope it does. We hope it does. All right, so everybody, we're going to wrap this up. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Everybody who joined us live and made us aware that our mics we're still off after that first video segment. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Great to hear and see from all of you. It looks like we have quite a bit of people watching on Facebook this morning, so that is great.
good.
Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Check out those answers from the tool room videos. Yep.
Very good.
All right, Andy. Well, until next week, so long, everyone. And, yep, stay positive, stay healthy, and we'll see you next week.